Let me tell you how I ended up in jail 6 months after coming to the UK. I never imagined I would be saying these words. Not after everything I and my family went through, not after everything I sacrificed just to be here. When I arrived in the UK, I honestly believed that the hardest part of my life was behind me. I had left my home country, Nigeria, where I worked as a bank manager. You already know I always wore suits, worked in a proper air-conditioned office, and earned enough to support my family. I was respected in my workplace, and I felt proud of what I had built and what I had become. My wife had moved to the UK before me on a healthcare visa. She worked very long hours and always tired, but she kept encouraging me to come to the UK. She believed that once I joined her, our lives would improve. When I finally got convinced, I left my job in Nigeria and I arrived in the UK. Honestly, it felt like a big victory for our family. We were husband and wife living together again, raising our 2 children in the same home. Honestly, it was victory for us. No more long-distance marriage, no more missing important moments of our lives. But real life started quickly also. The bills came fast. Rent, gas, electricity, council tax, childcare. Living in the UK was more expensive than we imagined. My wife was already working very hard and I knew I had to start working as soon as possible. So I began searching for work immediately. I applied for office jobs and bank jobs, but most of them asked for UK experience or special certifications, which I didn't have. And time was not on my side. We desperately needed money coming in. That was how I found healthcare support work. It was the fastest and easiest job for me to get. I did a short training course, completed my background checks, and within a month, I started working in the healthcare sector. I told myself it was just for the moment and also to raise money for the family. And then I believed I would soon find something closer to my old career. But the care job was very different from anything I had done before. The shifts were very long. Sometimes I work nights, sometimes the place will be short-staffed and we will have to do overtimes. And the people we supported had complex needs. Some had mental health conditions, some had learning disabilities, and some struggled with challenging behaviors and could become very aggressive. For me, I was still new and still learning. Because in the UK care system, there are so many rules and policies, and you are expected to follow all the rules. You must follow safeguarding rules and you must use de-escalation techniques. You must not use force unless trained and allowed. Everything has a procedure in the UK. I tried my best to learn quickly because I really wanted to do well. I wanted to keep my job so I could keep supporting my family. So I remained in the job, and after about 3 months, I was assigned to a man who was known to be very challenging. My colleagues said he could become very aggressive whenever he's upset. Whenever I worked, I made sure I listened carefully during the handovers. And so I thought I was ready to face that challenge. One day, during my shift, the man started becoming agitated. I could see the signs that he was not calm at all. I remembered all they taught us in training. I spoke softly, I gave him space, and I tried to redirect him. But things changed very quickly. Out of nowhere, without any provocation from me, suddenly he came towards me and hit me very hard on the head. Truly, I was shocked. But before I could fully react, he hit me again and then again, 3 times. It happened so fast. I was in pain. I felt fear, but then I also felt something else. I felt anger rising inside me. I felt disrespected. I felt overwhelmed. My heart was beating very fast and my mind could not think clearly anymore. And in that moment, I forgot all my trainings. I forgot about the policies. I forgot that in this job, even when you are attacked, you are expected to stay calm all the time. And you are expected to stay in control. Instead of stepping back or calling for help, I reacted with anger. I went to him and hit him back several times. When the other staff heard the noise, they all rushed into the room and pulled me away. At that time, everything stopped. But the damage was already done. As soon as I calmed down, I knew I had made a serious mistake. The managers were called in and an investigation started immediately. This is how the system works in the UK. Any incident like this is taken very serious. So statements were taken from the other staff. The CCTV cameras were checked. Managers, police, and safeguarding teams became involved. It was no longer just a workplace issue. It became a legal matter. When I was interviewed, I tried to explain to them that I was scared and hurt. I said I reacted without thinking. I said I felt like I was defending myself. But in the healthcare sector, there are strict laws. Staff are not allowed to hit the people they support, even if they are attacked. Like you may know, the investigation took a long time, but the outcome was very clear. I was found guilty of assault, and I was sentenced to 6 months in prison. And I was also banned from working in the healthcare sector again. In just one moment, everything I came to the UK to build started to fall apart. I lost my job, I lost my career path, I lost my professional record, and I lost my freedom. Sitting in a prison cell, I kept asking myself the same question. How did my life change so quickly? I came to the UK to create a better future for my family. But now, instead of doing that, 6 months later, I was locked behind bars. One thing about prison is, it gives you a long time to think. Because you've got long hours and quiet nights. I thought about my wife, how she had worked so hard to bring us together in the UK. Now she's having to carry everything alone. The bills, the children, and the shame of what had happened. I also thought about my children. I imagined them asking mommy, where is daddy? And I imagined my wife trying to explain something she never expected to explain. During that time, I replayed the incident in my mind again and again. And I realized there was a very small moment, just a few seconds, where I could have made a very different choice. I could have stepped back, I could have walked out of the room, I could have called for help even though I was attacked. But anger took over me, and that one reaction changed everything. I'm not sharing this story to excuse what I did. What I did was very wrong. I'm sharing this as a warning, especially to the people who come from other countries and start working in the healthcare sector in the UK. Support work is not just about helping people with daily tasks. It requires emotional control, patience, and a deep understanding of the rules. You're expected to stay calm even when someone shouts at you, insults you, or even attacks you. I know it's not easy, but you can learn from my story that losing control can cost you your job, your career, and even your freedom. One moment of anger can destroy years of hard work. One bad decision can change your family's future forever. Feeling hurt does not remove consequences. Feeling angry does not protect you from the law. Sometimes the hardest lesson in life is learning that self-control in one difficult moment can save you from a lifetime of regret.